All right, hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. This is just some interesting stuff. I think people are getting more and more insane as time goes by. So we'll talk about that. A couple interesting folks taking up the carnivore diet, seeing what they think. This is a little lady that apparently the world's oldest person turns 117, crediting raw eggs and steak. She ate other things as well, but apparently she did not read the Blue Zone propaganda. In fact, there are no vegans that will ever come close to living that long. I had one guy, I think he was, vegan later in life, did make it over 100, but generally, people who live longest eat meat. All right, this is a quick little review my friend Stan Efferding did on the book, The Carnivore Diet by me. Take a listen to this, see what you think.
Hey everybody, Stan Efferding here, founder of The Vertical Diet, and I just got finished reading The Carnivore Diet by Dr. Shawn Baker. Excellent book. I'm doing a little book review. And it's perfect timing too, because we just released our carnivore line of meals. Got protein by the pound delivered to your door, free delivery. And that's available at theverticaldiet.com, and we've got gift cards on there right now. So I want to take you through a quick tour of the carnivore diet. Dr. Shawn Baker, big fan of his. I've been on his podcast. I've met Shawn. I think he's a great guy, and he did an awesome job on this book. First thing you notice is that they did an excellent job with the pictures and the layout of the whole thing. Real enjoyable read. And Shawn's got an excellent writing style. And so I went through here, and I actually can't read without a highlighter. And so I highlighted everything throughout the book, as you'll see here, just so I can remember everything and go back and touch on it. I'll just take you on a quick tour here. First chapter was his story, which I thought was awesome. I could have read an entire book. It's amazing what he's accomplished. Of course, medical school, and then going over and performing surgery on our injured soldiers in the war, and coming back and doing surgeries here in the United States. Over 600 surgeries a year he was performing. It's kind of what led to him writing this book, because he started trying to introduce diet programs for people to prevent them from having surgeries. And that ran astray of the hospital, who wanted him to do more surgeries to make more money, and so ultimately he lost his license as a result of that, and then campaigned to get it back and passed the review and was relicensed and is now helping people with diet to make sure that they don't have to have surgery. So I have a lot of admiration for what he did here with this book and why he's doing what he's doing. He goes through here and he talks about nutrition. He talks about different diets for people and how healthy the carnivore diet can be. He talks about the evolution of meat and populations throughout the history and how what kind of diets they've had. He addresses all the questions that people would have about vitamins and minerals and cholesterol, the cancer stuff that people have blown out of proportion, kidney health, and about maintaining proper nutrition. And he does a really good job of that. He talks about meat as a superfood, and I've always said red meat is kind of the base of my diet as well. I think it's a great superfood, the creatine, the B vitamins, the iron, the zinc, the taurine. Talks about all that in here. He talks about the double-edged sword of plants, the oxalates and the lectins and the phytic acid, and gets into why he doesn't eat those. Talks about how the carnivore diet in terms of medicine, how he uses it and has used it with his clients to improve their health outcomes. And that can be things, some of this weight loss, but it can also be digestive disorders and autoimmune disorders, mental health disorders. And he has thousands of testimonials now all over his site of people who have benefited from it. It talks about how to implement the carnivore diet. What should you eat? What should you drink? It's obviously pretty simple. I plated up some food here. I've got 4 ounces of steak and 4 ounces of salmon and a couple of eggs here, and that's kind of a typical meal. But he'll also add maybe bone broth for people, and some people will use cheddar cheese. He's not a zealot about it. He gives people the opportunity to experiment, of course, and just offers it up as an option. I've always said with the vertical diet that what's the best diet? The one you'll follow. And there's many paths to the same destination. And Dr. Baker's not suggesting that this is for everyone. He's always suggested that it is an option. It's a very reasonable option that's providing health benefits for lots of people, and it shouldn't be demonized. And he's not telling anybody else what they have to eat or trying to impose his diet on them. So as I went through here, I learned a lot. I highlighted a lot. He talks about all the different benefits, the health markers. He does blood tests here. Talks about diabetes and glucose and inflammation, liver function, hormone levels. takes a nice deep dive into that. It's well referenced. Talks about grass finished versus grain finished. Has a bunch of great anecdotes and testimonials in here from people. Extraordinary stories. I was fascinated by some of these stories of people who have had great success on the carnivore diet. It was just an awesome read. Talks about animal welfare in here, about how regenerative agriculture is the best way to improve the environment and also get the best food. And there's some loose ends here with cooking methods, etc., and traveling. And then he finishes up with some nice diagrams and charts, nutritional information. Here is great. All this stuff was good reference. And it's well supported by references as well. So I really enjoyed it. Again, that's The Carnivore Diet by Dr. Shawn Baker. Highly recommend it. Really easy, interesting read. It's a fascinating story about him in particular. I'd buy the book just to read that. And also, timing is right, Vertical Diet. We've got the carnivore meals we just released, and it's proteins by the pound delivered to your door, lowest cost per calorie of any meal prep company in the market. And it's at theverticaldiet.com, and you can get gift cards now on our site. Take care.
All right, not everybody is a fan of the carnivore diet. Folks at PETA, not fans of the carnivore diet. This is a little snippet they put out there. I think I'm going to have in a tweet that says, an animal rights group, we cannot condone using animals for any reason. However, we would not oppose eating eggs from chickens treated as companions. If the birds receive excellent care and are not purchased from hatcheries. Unfortunately, that stance is not radical enough for this idiot who calls herself Christina the Activist at PETA. What the fuck is this? I hope the answer is that someone hacked you or made a mistake and hired a non-vegan who needs to get fired, but only after forcing them to watch Dominion 10 times. To which PETA comes back and says, hi, Christina, this is our old comment, and we've updated our position on backyard hens since it was published. PETA promotes a healthy vegan lifestyle and encourages anyone with rescue chickens to please feed the eggs back to the animals so they can gain back the nutrients they lose by laying eggs so often. Feeding back those animals the chicken periods. Imagining eggs being nourishing for an animal. Not human animals, though. Don't you dare as a human. So I'm just wondering, companion chickens? Perhaps? Or perhaps PETA's idea of a companion chicken. And I don't know what these guys are up to at PETA, but that seems a little bit sketchy to me. All right, Remington James is a fairly, popular YouTube fitness personality. Has recently tried out the carnivore diet. It's been on it for 3 weeks. Let's hear what he has to say. A little brief clip from that.
Pain relief and healing. Now, I want you to understand, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys right here. I have no reason to lie about this. If you've been on this channel for a minute, you know I've had a bum shoulder for a while. I dislocated it in a bar fight and then kept re-injuring it the more that I lifted, and I would never let it heal right, and I would always push through the pain. Well, this last cut, right, where I was super shredded, I was putting a lot of stress on my body. It was at the worst it had ever been. It literally was affecting my sleep. I had to sleep a certain way. When I was doing chest, if you watch my videos, I always had to do like cable exercises. I couldn't flat bench, couldn't incline bench, couldn't do anything shoulders. I didn't train shoulders for like a month. Only 4 days into eating just meat, my shoulder pain improved by a good 60%. And then a week in, my shoulder pain completely gone. Completely gone. I've not been able to do that. Look at this. Look at this. I've not been able to throw my shoulder around like this in years. Is it the meat? I don't know. Lower back pain, gone. Aches and pains kind of just seem to be gone. I had a cavity starting in my mouth. There's a little hole in my tooth. I knew I had to go see the dentist. Not only is that pain gone completely, the hole seems to be clearing up. I don't know, man. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds freaking crazy, but I swear, probably my favorite benefit. Benefit 2, mental clarity, man. I am able to think better. I'm getting more work.
All right, as we see, more and more people are trying this out, and they're all seeing the same thing. A meat-based diet is non-inflammatory. It's extremely anti-inflammatory. And a lot of people see improvements in joint health. He goes on to talk about mental clarity. He talks about the fact that he's getting stronger. He's put on more muscle, so on and so forth. as we see, this is something that, it's good to see more and more people with big audiences being willing to try this objectively and not just do it for a week, but do it for a period of time and have the balls to stand up and say, hey, meat is a health food and it makes us healthy. And I hope more and more people will continue to do so because this is what is needed. We need the truth out there. We don't need the bullshit pea protein, version, this hired propaganda, these people that, take the money and tell us their little stories about how pea protein is saving their lives or whatever garbage. All right, final insanity. So there's this little app called Neighborhood or Neighbors or something like that. I got it when I moved into this new neighborhood. And, it's mostly old people complaining about noise and suspicious cars in the neighborhood and stuff. And, we actually, our dog ran away. We actually used it. It helped us locate our dog at one point. So there's some use. But I get these, these emails every day, and usually I just delete them. But somebody sent me this, and it was kind of an interesting one. It says, please close your windows when cooking meat. What's up, neighborhood? One love. As a vegan runner, it is always hard for me this time of year when the weather starts warming up and folks start opening their windows. Several nights a week, I'm out running around dinner time, and when people have their windows open, I can smell what they are cooking. I've noticed a sharp uptick recently in smells of folks cooking meat, and it can be quite overpowering. Imagine a vegan being overpowered. Quite honestly, the odor is offensive, and I'm hoping our community can have some empathy for its plant-based neighbors by closing their windows if they are cooking meat and only putting vegetables on their barbecue. I don't want to be a stereotype, so I won't go into detail on why the odor of cooking animals is offensive, but I encourage you to do your research and join the movement of people who are fighting back. Peace, love, Bodhisattva. Thanks. Whatever the hell Bodhisattva is. I'm not sure. Anyway, insanity, craziness, satire, who knows? Anyway, just more nonsense. You guys have a great Sunday. We'll see you later. Take care. We got a bunch of fun stuff coming up at MeatRx. You guys, please check us out. It is your one-stop place for everything carnivore and meat-related, guys. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.